Welcome to another video by Guilao60. Today we're going to be talking about owning a vehicle in China, a car, a truck, whatever. When I retired in April 1st of 2014, first thing I did when I got over to China was get a driver's license, which was neat in its own way, and bought a little Toyota Yaris L, which is a little bit bigger than a Yaris. Anyway, starting with the driver's license, because I had a Saskatchewan driver's license already, all I had to do was write the exam. So I studied for the exam. It was about 600 questions. I pulled 100 questions out, multiple choice. And yes, they have an English version, but it's a Chinglish version. If anybody's ever tried to translate Chinese to English using Google Translation, you'll understand what I mean, where they make no sense at all. So it's more of a memorizing the 600 questions and answers than it is about actually knowing. One of the questions that came to mind: if it's snowing outside and you're driving a car, you will hallucinate. Well, the answer on the exam is yes. Being a Saskatchewan born and bred boy, I know the answer really is no. But these are the things. So anyway, I got this driver's license. It's good for 6 years. Then I bought this Yaris L. It cost about 100,000 RMB, so 20,000 Canadian dollars. A little bit more expensive than in the West. And I drove to Bama, where we had the most Centurions ever in the world. I drove to Beihai and Fenchengong, and we drove to Dien Tan Falls and the Vietnamese border. We drove to Bo Bai on Grey Sweeping Day, and to Yulin to pick Lidze. It's a little fruit about that big, and it's really, really good, and visiting friends and family. And that went on for about 6 months. And then it sat back here for about a year. I might have used it twice in the next 12 months after the first 6 months. Everywhere I went, it was a nightmare. It would take an hour to an hour and a half to drive across town. It would take an hour just to go downtown. Everywhere you park, it's 10 RMB. Because there's pollution in Nanning. You're washing it to get the oil from the air off of it all the time. And it's hard to get that clean, you know. The insurance on the vehicle was about 6,000 RMB a year, so it's pretty pricey in Chinese terms, where, as I was talking about wages earned in China, where a retail salesperson makes 2,600 RMB a month, or $2.50 an hour. Yeah, you know, so you don't want to be dropping 6,000 RMB on insurance every year for your vehicle, plus 100,000 to buy the vehicle. You know, so like owning a vehicle in China doesn't really make a lot of sense. Public transportation, the subway, to go all across town from where I live to the CMix Mall, which takes me about 45 minutes on my e-bike, takes about 15 minutes in the subway, and costs 3 RMB, which is around just over 50 cents Canadian. You can ride a bus anywhere in the city of Nanning for 2 RMB, so 42 cents Canadian. You can jump on a bus to Bo Bai or Beihai or whatever, and it might cost you 100 RMB. You know, so $20. They've got high-speed trains to Guangzhou, to Beihai, to Guilin. And though they are a bit more pricier than your regular buses, you're there in 3.5 hours to Guangzhou, which used to be a 14-hour bus ride for 230 RMB one way, which, you know, which is what, $55? You know, to fly to Shanghai, 3.5-hour flight from Nanning, or to Beijing, you're not spending 1,000 RMB, so you're not spending $200. To drive there would take you a long time. To pay for gas would take more than 200 RMB for $200, sorry, Canadian for gas. Plus, you've got road tolls all the way there, which cost as much or more than the fuel that you're putting in your vehicle. You know, so buying a car and running it in China just doesn't make a lot of sense. the e-bikes for getting around your area of town, or if you're going across town and today it's 44 degrees with the Humidex out right now. Underneath my shirt, I'm just dripping. I'm going to go take a shower after this. And the subways are air conditioned and cheap. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to not use a public transportation that they've set up to be so convenient for everybody, the rich, the poor, the middle class. It doesn't matter. Everybody can afford the public transportation here in China. But then everybody wants a car too. It's a status symbol here. Before, only the rich had cars. Now everybody can afford a car, even if it's just a 50,000 RMB Wulin van. It makes them feel like they're a class higher in the hierarchy of China, which I guess is a good thing. And maybe if you're living in rural China, where maybe there isn't as much public transportation, but there's a good bus system out there. But there's no high-speed trains, there's no subways, the airports, they don't have them. So running a vehicle in rural China may be a good thing, more convenient than riding an e-bike or a motorcycle. A lot of motorcycles in rural China. But in your major cities, like Nanning is 7 million people, there's really no reason other than prestige to own a vehicle. And that's my opinion about vehicles in cities in China. If you like this video, I'll make another one. Or subscribe, like, comment. And if you see it on Facebook, share. I just had a bee on my finger. Yeah, or share, and I'd like that. Until next time, thanks for watching.